So listen to this. Where does the woke white woman draw the line? If she can be an arsonist, the provocateur of black police officers, and an easy fit for a mob, then what else would she do? Would she be a kindred spirit with Charles Dickens' character, Madame Defarge, and support mass executions of her perceived enemies? If executions turn out to be the woke thing, widely propagandized as the only solution for systemic racism, should we be the least bit surprised if she were? I agree with her. I don't think that there is a nonviolent end to leftism. There has never been one. I don't see why it would be different in the United States. We just saw it with the riots and the looting and the destruction, and officials, wherever Democrats were in charge, doing nothing. Why is that not an example? That's I'm leaving that for your thinking. Daily Mail, July 12. A New York Police Department police officer ended up in a headlock. After an attempt to disperse a crowd on a street corner in the Bronx earlier this month went horribly wrong. The officers found themselves to be vastly outnumbered and were quickly surrounded by angry bystanders who could be heard taunting and threatening them on camera. As the police attempted to arrest one of the men, to the cheers of the crowd, a second officer found himself powerless as he was placed in a headlock, a move that is soon to be banned by the city's own police. F him up, yells a man who was filming the July 1st encounter as the officer is dragged from one side of the street to the other. The headlock lasts for around 4 seconds before the police officer finally falls to the ground. He suffered a gash to the head that ended up requiring hospital treatment. The taunting continues after being released from the headlock. They smoked you, then the expletive. The man filming is then heard taunting the cops, you just got smoked. Expletive. The NYPD stated the headlocker was a known gang member. He turned himself in 1 week later to the 46th precinct. The man who has not been named has been arrested 11 times in the past for charges including gang assault, criminal possession of a loaded firearm, and robbery. Arrested 11 times. Why was he on the street? COVID? Too many blacks in prison? Why was he on the street? Gets worse. The suspect was released without charge, pending further investigation. The NYPD was disappointed that the individual was not charged initially. The violence against the police officer speaks for itself. We are now in discussions with the district attorney regarding the case, an NYPD spokesman said. When there isn't a healthy fear of police, you have inevitable anarchy. Inevitable. I speak about this in my Bible commentary. We are told to fear God and fear our parents. This strikes moderns so negatively that translations don't even say fear. They say revere. Man shall revere his mother and father, shall revere God. No, fear. I know biblical Hebrew pretty darn well. The word is fear, and I could prove it. Because God says more than anything else to people in the Bible, do not fear. And he uses the same exact verb. He doesn't say do not revere. That's right. Authority must have some degree of fear, or it's useless.